You are a Jew hater, defined as someone who only wants to lie and say that the Jews are genocidaires. And don't try to cancel me and say that I shouldn't be on. You're not a producer of this show because you are ignorant of the facts.
I can't. I would never be able to. This is insane. I would have lost my mind. Here, let's listen to what Cenk had to say. He went up against Rabbi Shmuley.
Welcome back. The G7, including the UK and US, is calling for humanitarian pauses in Gaza. Many other countries in the Middle East are demanding a full ceasefire. Israel has ruled out a ceasefire while Hamas holds around 240 hostages who were kidnapped during the deadly terror attacks on October the 7th. It says there's already tactical pauses in its daily assaults on the Gaza Strip, where more than 10,500 people reportedly now being killed in Gaza, including over 4,000 children, according to the Hamas-run health ministry. On Sunday, the Pope made an urgent plea to stop the conflict, saying, I pray to you to stop in the name of God, cease the fire. So with so much bloodshed, is it time for a ceasefire? Joining me now to discuss this, America's rabbi and best-selling author, Rabbi Shmuley Batayak, and welcome back to Young Turks creator and Democratic presidential challenger, Cenk Uygur. Well, welcome to both of you. Cenk, let me start with you. Many people are calling for a ceasefire. Queen Rania of Jordan, Angelina Jolie, Arab leaders, and so on. I presume you would agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that they've murdered enough Palestinian civilians. And even Netanyahu, in an interview with ABC News, said, now that we're on the ground, we're finally pressuring Hamas on hostages. Oh, so the 7,000 bombs you dropped were totally useless and collective punishment, and your attempt to murder civilians on purpose as some sort of sick vengeance. So please stop the murders, ceasefire right now.
Rabbi Shmuley, your response?
Cenk is polling in the Democratic presidential primaries at 0%, nothing. He has a greater likelihood of being elected the new king of France. And don't interrupt me, please. And the reason is that the American people are decent. They understand that Cenk's anti-Semitism, which he has voiced on your show.
Wait, yeah, dude. Americans are making an opinion on Cenk off of his takes on Israel. Yeah, dude, definitely. No, they don't know who the fuck he is, dog. What do you mean? That's why he's polling at 0%. What is this? What a delusional take. No, nobody knows who he is. And those who do don't have a lot of positive opinions. Like, that's what it is. That's what the real reason is. What the fuck are we talking about here?
Repeatedly calling Jews genocidaires. And this is the eve of Kristallnacht, the 85th anniversary of the start of the Holocaust.
He's such a scumbag, dude. Oh, my God. He said, this is the eve of Kristallnacht. Like, that's what he's invoking.
He would deny the Jewish people the only dignity left to us, that we were victims of genocide, and he would say that we are the Nazis, we are the Gestapo, for simply wanting to defend ourselves against the brutality and the savagery of...
Damn. Putting on the left is legal on genocide? Yeah, no. Rabbi Shmuley is wild.
Cenk, you'll have your turn. Just show some decency. If you're not going to show it to my people, show it to me and show it to the viewers of the show.
Stop.
But who is
lying.
surprised
Everything
that a man? Who is surprised that a man?
It's really fucked up that they literally lowered his voice. What the hell? That's kind of disgusting that you could just like go on there, have your fucking volume tweaked, and have some dude just straight up do incredibly libelous claims, like just slander you relentlessly as you're slowly but surely muted.
And the name of whose podcast is Young Turks, who perpetrated the Armenian genocide. The Young Turks is like calling your podcast the Young Nazis, the Young Gestapo. They killed 1.5 to 2.
Okay, dog, don't act like you care about Armenians, okay? I mean, let me tell you something, okay? If you're going to sit here and defend Israel, okay, while simultaneously act like you give a shit about Armenians, we're going to have some problems. Because, you know, just as the Nakba is happening in Palestine right now, the Armenians had their second Nakba literally with Israeli weapons. Okay? That shit happened like last month. What do you mean? That's insane, dude. Pick a lane. Pick a lane. Pick a lane. Pick a lane. You can't do that. You can't do that. You what? Also, here's why I always laugh whenever people are like, "Oh, Erdogan, he's so bold. He's so bold on fucking. He's so bold on what do you call it? Fucking Israel. Like he's really sticking it to the man." It's like someone should figure out where all the fuel into Israel is coming from and who's facilitating the pipelines and which two countries have a lot to do with Israel getting like 40% of its fuel. Something to consider, really. I wonder which two regional partners are very important to Israel getting fuel. I don't know. Oh, it's not Saudi Arabia. It's fucking, no, not Turkey and Egypt either. It's Turkey and Azerbaijan. All right, let's continue. 2
million Armenians between 1915 and 1918. The Armenian community has begged Cenk to change the name of his show. For the first half of his life, he was a complete Armenian genocide denier. Then he changed.
Dude, he's just in here to rip on Cenk. What the fuck?
Now he is a Holocaust denier because he is saying that the Jews are engaged in a genocide of the Palestinians. Now, which nation? How can there be 1.8 million Muslim Arab citizens?
Rabbi Shrumi,
okay,
I'm going to go to Cenk. You said some very strong things about Cenk. You can now respond, Cenk.
Yeah, you should never have this guy on air. Everything he said is a lie. I don't deny the Holocaust. That's insanity. And in terms of the Armenian genocide, there is a powerful analogy there. Why was it a genocide? And yes, it was a genocide. Why? Because they moved and displaced so many people and killed civilians on the way. What is Israel doing? Moving and displacing millions of people.
Yeah, exactly, which is wild. Like, defending Israel while simultaneously talking about the Armenian genocide is insane because, like, the methods are nearly identical. It's literally forcible ethnic displacement and ethnic cleansing alongside forcible ethnic displacement. It's nuts.
And killing innocent civilians. It is the exact definition of a genocide. So I think the Jewish people are an amazing people and their culture is beautiful. And I don't tolerate any anti-Semitism. But I think that the occupation is decaying the moral core of Israel. How long are you going to oppress these people?
But Cenk,
and I know this guy, all he wants to do is an ad hominem attack. He's a liar. And you could tell exactly what kind of indecent human being he is. But the main reason he's doing it is to avoid the topic. When are you going to stop murdering Palestinians and cheerleading it?
Okay.
If you're talking about genocide, you're the one right now doing the genocide.
May I respond?
Yes.
Go ahead, more lies. Go ahead.
You know, I've spent my life debating people. Whenever someone starts using personal names and screaming like a lunatic, they're losing the debate. Let me remain factual.
You're the one who made up things. The
Palestinians were offered a state in 1936 in the Peel Commission. They rejected it. They were offered a state in 1947, the UN Partition Plan. They rejected it. They were offered a state in 1967 after Israel.
Okay.
Israel conquered Judea and Samaria in the West Bank, they rejected it. They were offered a state in 2000, Yasser Arafat, Ehud Barak, they rejected it. They were offered a state with Ehud Olmert, 2008, they rejected it. Israel unilaterally withdrew from Gaza in 2005, and they did not create a state.
How come his voice was not lowered when Cenk was talking? Am I crazy? What's going on there?
In fact, where were you, Cenk, when you say that you care about Palestinian children, when Hamas stole the highest rate of per capita international foreign aid, larger than the Marshall Plan, from Palestinian children, did not build schools for them, did not build hospitals, took all the money to buy bombs and to build a network of tunnels, which is larger than the New York subway system? Where were you then? Why did you only come up now? In fact, when Bashar al-Assad killed 600,000 children.
This is so funny to be like, hey, dude, hey, why are you, cut it out. Cut it out. Stop talking about the thousands that Israel's killing right now. Why don't you talk about Syria? And it's like, first of all, he was talking about all that. Like, the fuck do you mean? You weren't. He was. Like, what is this? I love the idea that, like, there's this automatic consideration that, like, oh, you're talking about Israel? You probably didn't have anything to say about Syria. Like, I saw a bunch of people fucking yelling at me over it, too. It's like, I've never been an Assad supporter at all. What the fuck? Where did you get this from? Like, I love that people just went along with it, too. They were just like, nah, dude, fucking got you, dude. We got you. Yeah, we got you. You must not care. And it's like, yeah, dude, thank you. You fucking clapped me. You did. You certainly did.
Children, Arab children. When he gassed them with mustard gas, my organization took out full-page New York Times ads to protect them from sarin gas. Where were you then? You don't care about Arab children. You are a Jew hater, defined as someone who only wants to lie and say that the Jews are genocidaires. And don't try to cancel me and say that I shouldn't be on. You're not a producer of this show because you are ignorant of the facts.
I can't. I would never be able to. This is insane. I would have lost my fucking mind.
Ignorant of the history does not mean that you can cancel my voice.
Cenk, your response.
Okay, so first of all, this guy is a full-blown bigot. He's one of the most racist people I have ever seen, does not value Palestinian lives at all. And everything he said about me is 100% untrue. I was vicious in my criticism of Bashar al-Assad. I have criticized Hamas over and over again, and I think what they did in the attack against Israel was reprehensible. But for God's sake, how long are you going to occupy these people? For me, the idea of Israelis and Palestinians or Muslims or Jews being different is absurd. Those are just stupid labels that we put on people. They're all human beings. I value the Israeli life just as much as I value the Palestinian life. We're all human. Stop using these nonsense labels
Cenk, let me ask you a
kill
question.
each other.
Cenk,
all this guy wants to do is more murder of Palestinians.
Cenk, let me ask
when
you.
are you going to let them go?
Cenk, let me ask you a question. You mentioned genocide there. What Hamas is actually in its charter dedicated to doing is the purest personification of genocide. Well, it is. They want to see the eradication of Israel, and they proved on October the 7th they will kill as many Jews as they can possibly get their hands on. So that is pure genocide. What Israel is doing in return, I don't think meets the category of genocide. Right, because they don't want to get rid of every Palestinian. They don't want to kill every Palestinian.
Oh my God, dude, this sucks. This sucks. Major dicks, dude. Fucking hell. Oh my God. Oh God, it's a 2v1. He's just like ripping Cenk into fucking shreds by bringing up like just ridiculous, just all slander. Just like, you're a bad guy, you smell bad, you're fucking phony. That's all he's said thus far. Saying he's a Jew hater, like insane. And then you get Piers, who's supposed to be the moderate voice in the room, the moderator, literally. And what does he do? He's like, well, it's not genocide. I mean, only 10,000 have been killed so far in a short period of time with indiscriminate bombing campaigns. It's simply an ethnic displacement.
No,
they want to kill every Hamas terrorist. Now, there are legitimate question marks about how they're going about this and about the civilian casualty.
Yeah, like, here, let me tell you something, okay? Yeah, guess what? I know this from my own personal fucking research, but also from learning about it in school. The way that they fucking describe the Armenian genocide in Turkish school is identical. They don't fucking say they killed every woman and child deliberately. They say they were looking for infiltrators and collaborators and only trying to kill infiltrators and collaborators while creating a humanitarian corridor for Armenians to go to Syria. Okay? Nobody fucking defends genocide by going, hey, we're doing genocide. In the process of doing ethnic displacement and ethnic cleansing, they will find a good reason for at least like the moderate liberals to market it as such, as though it's completely justifiable. One of the warriors says he doesn't care about the Uyghurs. The conversation goes downhill from here. Question about whether a genocide is actually happening. Says the CCP is in a dictatorship. Says the U.S. is no better than the CCP. So disgusting. Shame on you, Shamath. Imagine any other country doing military actions that lead to a 40% child fatality rate. Fucking crazy. It's just like, here's the thing. What's really frustrating about the genocide designation is that it is one that is far too late after the fact. If we do like a post hoc slapping of the genocide sticker on actions, then it's too late. There's no reason to fucking learn about genocides at all then. Why the fuck do we even have scholars that study this shit? The entire purpose of learning history is so that we don't repeat the worst mistakes. The problem is, however, every single time we're talking about ethnic cleansing and ethnic displacement, we just We are like waiting for the perfect like number, this round figure that we get to. Like, oh, it's at 10,000? Not yet. Okay, maybe at 100,000 we'll call it a genocide. Oh, how many people have been displaced? Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I guess like, can we really say that it's like ethnic displacement happening? Like deliberate ethnic displacement happening? Is it ethnic cleansing? I don't know. We haven't reached that perfect number yet. Yeah, dumbass. That means when you reach that perfect number, it's too late. Like, it's not about winning an argument. It's about preventing harm.
But there is a moral distinction between what Hamas is dedicated to doing and what Israel is dedicated to doing, isn't there?
No. First of all, Hamas is a bunch of idiots. They should take that stuff out of their charter. All it does is...
They did. See? Guy who talks about politics for a living. They did. In 2017, they literally did that. Not that it fucking matters, because no one will believe you, but like still, come on, you should know that. You should know that. Anyone who speaks on stuff like this should know these things. It's pretty basic stuff. This is why I get very frustrated with like the designation of terrorism, right? Because on the political front, the designation of a terror cell for a militant group, for a militancy, immediately says no habeas corpus, no fucking trial, doesn't matter, kill on sight. That's the legal justification for it, okay? But the secondary problem with not knowing these sorts of things and like just going along with the simple, oh, they're terrorists, they're bad guys, they're doing bad things for bad reasons, is also that you make no distinctions. You don't attribute any kind of like real reason as to why people are behaving the way that they are. And that's a problem. Because if your goal is apprehension, if your goal is to stop the violence, you have to understand what the real reason for that violence is in order to tackle it, right? You can't treat it like a fucking stochastic terrorist school shooter, or even stochastic terrorism you could treat by understanding what the motivations are. But you're literally treating terrorists like they're fucking random school shooters that had like an episode, you know what I mean? Like a random guy who went back to work and like opened fire. That's not how you can't do that. There are certain terror cells that operate in a similar way, right? But even then they have like their own personal aspirations, like if we're thinking about ISIS or whatever. But to make that comparison, like, oh, Hamas is ISIS, specifically to just like open up fire on a broadly civilian population that you're now also saying is sheltering the ISIS-style terror group, completely defeats the point. This video was Ethan's point. I think I know which video this is. Is it the black guy in the car, in the front seat of the car, talking about, what the fuck's going on with Twitter, man? Holy shit. Jesus Christ. What I constantly stress to my pro-IDF family members, is from the perspective of the Palestinian citizen, consider who they feel the terrorists are that are dropping bombs on their land. Spoiler alert, it's not Hamas. Exactly. Now that's really important to understand. Why is that really important to understand? Because I don't believe the Israeli government actually cares about making this distinction, because they only care about like fucking doing the ethnic cleansing and stuff. But the population inside of Israel needs to develop a better understanding of the aspirations and the goals, okay? Because you can't deal with an entire population of 2.5 million people on one side and 2.2 million people on the other side by assuming that like you can literally free this population and rid them of their, dangerous terror cell that's like that's holding them hostage by bombing them, which should be pretty simple, right? It should be pretty simple to fucking comprehend. Like, it never works. That's not a real thing. That's never been a real consideration. I've never once in my fucking life have I ever thought, oh yeah, no, bombing this area will certainly lead to the evisceration of like the anti-whatever factions that exist there. It's never happened. That's never happened. Yeah, bomb downtown LA, gang problem solved. That's not even where the gangs are. Homelessness problem solved. Bomb downtown LA. There's never been a moment. There has never unironically been a moment where like weapons have actually solved the issue. There are very, very, very specific and very few instances where weapons actually solve a problem. And almost all of those postures are defensive, never offensive, okay? You cannot bomb an area and expect an idea to end. Please cook this Zionist. What? I can't click on this link. I tried. It wouldn't load for me earlier. Oh,
Yeah, sure. It's 1947, and the UN divided the land of Israel to a Jewish state and an Arab state. As a Jew, your mission is survive. That's it. Okay, let's draw the first card. War! Local Arabs attacking Jews all over the land, joined by the armies of Egypt, Syria, Iraq, and Jordan.
and almost all of those postures are defensive, never offensive. Okay? You cannot bomb an area and expect an idea to end. Please cook this Zionist. What? I can't click on this link. I tried. It wouldn't load for me earlier. Oh,
Yeah, sure. It's 1947, and the UN divided the land of Israel to a Jewish state and an Arab state. As a Jew, your mission is survive. That's it. Okay, let's draw the first card. War! Local Arabs attacking Jews all over the land, joined by the armies of Egypt, Syria, Iraq, and Jordan.
yeah. The idea that like, oh, the idea that this was like standing powerful militaries attacking like small bean Israel and not Israel just like forcibly displacing Palestinian villages from their villages is wild.
Do you fight back or surrender? If I surrender, do I survive? No, then I fight back. Okay, let's draw another one. You lose a huge amount of your population, but miraculously manage to win. Are you willing to give back some of the territories you gained in exchange for peace? Of course, I just want to survive. Great, and now we have terror! Hundreds of Israelis killed by Arabs from the West Bank and Gaza. Do you wish to surrender, hunt the terrorists, or give the Palestinians autonomy so they can form a peaceful and independent society alongside Israel? Let's give them autonomy. Okay, you get more terror over...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's all Arabs are across the board. Israel, small bean society. Israel constantly under attack. Israel doesn't see top of the hour ad breaks because, you know, at the top of the hour there's a 3-minute ad break, but many have subscribed. Dude, it's so crazy. It's just, it's weird, man. When you hear about it, it's like, damn, Israel seems to be always under attack while they're doing the right things every time. How crazy. I mean, what are the odds, right?
1,000 Israelis die in countless attacks all over Israel. Oh wow, I won't be able to survive like this. Let's fight the terrorists in the West Bank and withdraw from Gaza completely. I'll even give the Palestinians all the facilities we created over there. I'm sure they find a use for it. Interesting. The people of Gaza elected Hamas as their ruler, and it swore to destroy Israel and kill all the Jews. They also dismantled the infrastructure you gave them and used it to build rockets which they fire towards you. How do you respond? Okay, let's talk to Egypt, and together we'll form a tight border around Gaza to control what goes in and out. Okay.
I mean, that was already in effect.
People are mad at you because you formed a blockade, but they'll kill me if I want. Well, then let's give Gaza electricity, fuel, supplies, and billions of dollars. Okay, you get even more terror. Hamas uses all the aid to develop terror infrastructure.
Yeah, it's crazy how that's how it worked. Hey, doesn't this kind of completely defeat the notion that your blockade is shit then, if that's the case? Terror infrastructure. It's tunnels. He's talking about tunnels. Doesn't this literally defeat the purpose of the blockade then? It just like is not doing anything. It's just cruel and unusual, I guess. Why won't those guys in our open air concentration camp like treating us better after we, you know, made an open air concentration camp for them and controlled their food intake and called it putting the Palestinians on a diet? So weird. My favorite is when some like dude who's an analyst will say the dumbest thing you've ever heard in your life. Like they'll be like, why won't the Gazans build bomb shelters? It's like, fuck! Why didn't they think of that, dude? Shit! You're right. The fucking army that's currently blowing up hospitals would be like, well, that's a bomb shelter. Can't shoot it, guys. Also, a bomb shelter only works against the fucking bitch-ass bathtub missiles that they make inside of Gaza. With parts that they find of Israeli missiles. Yeah. Why won't the Gazans build an airport and fly out of there? Perhaps because Israel blew it up in 2001 and never allowed them to rebuild it again and has controlled their airspace ever since.
while the people of Gaza remain poor. This game is not that easy. Ooh, you waited too long and now Hamas crossed the border, killed 1,500 Israelis and kidnapped 240 all in one day. Okay, enough is enough. I enter Gaza to destroy Hamas. Let's see. Many of your soldiers die fighting in urban territory. You're having trouble because Hamas hides among civilians. Oh man, let's use the Air Force and target Hamas officials only. Hamas...
What one reference literature can I use to dismantle common Israeli propaganda issues with facts? IG, Israel has the right to land because Palestine wasn't ever a country. Yeah, that it's just bullshit. You have to. I don't know if there's like a one-stop shop. This guy's literally illustrating the incredible charity of a settler colony, conditionally providing less than basic needs of their prisoners. Yeah, it's great.
Uses civilians as human shields. Do you wish to proceed? Look, I'll put tremendous efforts into targeting Hamas only.
Yeah, dude, come on. We're gonna do it. I promise. We're doing tremendous efforts. Oops, you killed 4,000 children, and now the world thinks you're baby killers because you are killing babies after all. Oh, fuck.
With as few civilian casualties as possible. Let's see. Hamas builds military bases inside residential areas, schools, and hospitals. So unfortunately, civilians die. Okay, let me think. While you were thinking, 30 Israelis died. Wait a second. 50 Israelis more. Your people fear for their lives. Okay, I'll notify the people of Gaza before striking so they have time to evacuate. Hamas blocks the road so civilians can't.
Crazy, man. It's so crazy. Hamas blocks the road so civilians can't leave. Meanwhile, we blow up evacuation corridors like regularly, which is perfectly valid because we thought that Hamas guys were there, or ambulances because we thought Hamas guys were there. Actually, the pizza shop, because we didn't really think Hamas guys were there, but it doesn't really matter because we'll say Hamas guys were there and nobody listens.
Can't leave. What do you want me to do? Now Hamas says that Israel is just the beginning and they want to take on all Western
Fuck.
democracies. Okay, now I'm sure the world will understand if I keep fighting Hamas while trying as hard as I can to avoid collateral damage.
Yeah, they're coming after the West after. Look alive, boys. Yeah. Hamas in every corner, dude. Every fucking corner.
Let's see. Most people accuse you of performing a genocide and demand you cease fire. Okay, happy to, but only if Hamas will surrender and return the hostages. They refused. You are now accused of ethnic cleansing and considered a war criminal. I'm starting to think I cannot win this game.